Everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick update on my experience with the Google Nexus 9, this 8.9-inch Android tablet manufactured by HTC in partnership with Google is priced at $399 for the 16GB model and $479 for the 32GB model. Both are Wi-Fi only tablets. There is an LTE model for those of you looking for data everywhere. And as you can see, what I'm going to be featuring today is the software. We just booted up. You notice that this tablet is designed for portrait use, 4:3 aspect ratio, a big deviation from days past with at least every Android tablet on the market. And some will love this, others will wish that Google will have gone another way, but that's not what today's video is about. It's a general update for those of you curious of what I think of this device. It's got some great internal hardware at its price point, like every Nexus device before it. Also some enhanced build quality, better cameras, the K1 processor from NVIDIA, that's the first 64-bit variety of that chip, is one of the most powerful mobile processors on the market, even though it's dual core. But despite that great processor, the 2 gigs of RAM, the dual band Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, again, the improved cameras, better sound, in fact, maybe some of the best-in-class sound in this category among any tablet made. Really, the feature here is, of course, the software. This is a Nexus device. Google's giving you direct updates. You're looking at Lollipop version 5.0 of the Android operating system, often referred to as L, in order to have to avoid, or rather to avoid, having to say Lollipop on a frequent basis. And you can see right here the notifications menu, besides the unlock screen, everything you've seen so far, would look basically completely foreign to what we are traditionally accustomed to in the Android mobile OS world. The notification panel, now a two-tier system. You can see the first one just giving us date, time, data connectivity, battery life, and user account access. Settings access, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Screen brightness, which I have cranked all the way up. Your data connectivity, Bluetooth, airplane mode. You've also, of course, got your auto rotate still there. Flashlight mode, now that we do have a LED on the back for that 8-megapixel camera, so yet another improvement. Quick access to location, as well as casting your screen, often referred to as mirrorcast. So some really quick access there. Then settings, not going to resemble anything you're accustomed to looking at in traditional Android computing, both on a smartphone or a tablet. But this is where things are going. Everything's being revamped. And the theme, in my opinion, really does represent or resemble an extension of Google Now, and it makes sense. Google Now is what makes Android basically the best platform out there. It differentiates it. It's not just a phone. It's not just a tablet. It's part of your lifestyle in a way that no mobile platform is right now. And what I see here is that theme that Google's been using for a while, basically making its way over to every element of the OS. And you can see that even in those halos that form as I drag up and down through menus. But really clean, very bright, airy, describe it how you will. It looks nothing like the previous gen, which is definitely darker. The 4:3 aspect ratio I'll get to in a moment, but sticking to software, you can see we have quick access to, again, all of our data. I do want to show you storage out of the box. I've installed nothing. We're looking at 9.3 gigs. It might have been 9.5 when I took it out of the box before it did some updating, because it did update immediately after the unboxing. So this is still with nothing installed. I haven't put an account on here. You're looking at 9.3 gigs on the 16 gig model, for those of you wondering. So that answers that question right out of the gate. But there's a battery saver mode that didn't exist in the past, which is definitely, I think, going to be useful. There are so many elements to L besides just the revamp of the look and feel, but again, the functionality aspect that I think, as with every Nexus revamp, is really critical to Google, cementing the fact that they are relevant and leading the industry. This tablet seems to have it all. The sound quality, fantastic. I expected good sound from HTC with their boom sound. It's right up there with the Shield tablet, which means that you've got some of the best audio performance. Granted that your company, those surrounding you, don't mind, that you're going to get out of a tablet. I'll give you an example. Jump out of this. And of course, I'll have more in-depth reviews, but this is just a quick update, again, for those of you curious. If I go into the browser, Chrome, of course, stock on here. Let's try jumping. We'll go to CNN first, just for general web browsing purposes. And things are very smooth on here. L is still a work in progress. Let's be really clear. Anytime you pick up a Nexus tablet, you're dealing with a work in progress. You're, in other words, in many ways, a beta tester of sorts. But you also get that promise of having basically support for a device far longer than any manufacturer would give you. And since you're getting better hardware than any manufacturer would give you at that price point, $400 or $500, certainly better than what Apple's putting together, or any other Android device other than the Shield tablet, I would say, on an ounce-for-ounce, dollar-for-dollar basis. This really is a fantastic tablet. Granted, I have to spend more time with it. I'm sure there will be bugs that I have not encountered yet that all of you will discover as you get your hands on it, but let me go ahead and just open up another article here. You see load times. I'll even try to play a video. Hopefully no copyright infringement. Not interested in that. I don't think any of you are either. Playback may not work. But from what I've seen, audio, video performance, fantastic. I mean, really, the quality is superb. Would I have liked to have seen a higher res display? Sure. Very loud, by the way. You may notice I'll be competing with it. And I'll talk over Lockheed since I don't really want to help promote them. But the audio performance, fantastic. Video quality, had they gone with a higher resolution display, certainly could have been better. But I think it's anything 1080p or beyond is certainly enough. Had they gone with something Super AMOLED at this resolution, I'd be paying it far more compliments. But it's definitely completely competent when compared to anything else on the market. Audio quality in this CNN clip is not so great, so I'm going to go ahead and back out. But that gives you an example of video performance playback. I can also, for that matter, why not go to YouTube, show you a video sample. And this will be in full desktop mode. This will not be mobile, getting out of mobile, and show you what at least high quality piece of video at 1080p streaming. This is actually not over 5 gigahertz because I am going for range rather than short distance speed. But let's take a look at this. Something I have tested already. And considering we're running this in desktop, I think that's pretty impressive. Let me go ahead and make that 1080p. No point in really running it in even 1440 because it's not native, or forget about 4K, again, not even close to native. But here we go, just waiting it out here. I believe it should start playing here. Here we go. And this is when I get to that 4:3 aspect ratio. Now, granted, this is a really taxing task for a mobile device to be performing. You can see even a little bit of, I won't say frame dropping, but a little bit of lag there. And you could blame my network. I'll be doing more testing. There's no problem with this. So I'm not exactly quite sure what to, basically point at there. But performance, in my experience, at least closer to the router, has been good. And I haven't had problems with general data, although I do see here it's a little bit on the slow side. It is not performing exactly as I would like to see. But my biggest nitpick with this is really the letterbox. I mean, for media consumption, I'm hoping that, again, Google plans to release a larger Nexus rather than the fact that they've abandoned the larger form tablet just to try to make one really margin machine here that can compete with every tablet on the market, whether we're talking about the iPad Air current gen, the mini gen, or of course all of Amazon's Android offerings in sheep's clothing, so under their own offering, because that's what the 4:3 aspect ratio is all about. But Lollipop seems to be a really nice update. The calendar is new. I mean, in terms of stock applications, this is what your app drawer looks like. And of course, everything can still be covered up. If you're not a fan of Lollipop, easily, put a launcher on there. This is very easily unlocked, the bootloader, rooted, So you're getting a stock device to do whatever you want with just great hardware at a value price point. That's what it all comes down to. But when it comes to video playback in general, solid so far. Streaming there, not great, but on YouTube, the application, things are flawless. Again, I wanted to show you what it looked like logged out. I wanted to show you guys stock what the actual internal storage was, and really what the performance was like out of the box. But the app drawer, pretty limited. Not a lot of bloat on here. And again, the revamp of the calendar, the revamp of the launcher. I mean, every element really does remind me again of Google Now. And you'll see that when I show the calendar application, because that's really exactly what it reminds me of. Basically, you can see as it prompts us to create an account, but you could see immediately what I was mentioning, that just on the integration there, it has all of the overlays, the graphics, it's the exact same style. So it makes sense. This is the evolution. The same has happened to Gmail now. So I like what I see. Again, a brighter, lighter feel to the OS, all of the same performance. Hopefully, things are very smooth. Web browsing, as you saw, very nice. The keyboard, also like what I'm seeing. I didn't really mention that, but there's nothing to really tell any of you yet at this point in terms of a complaint or a problem with this, because quite frankly, Google has put together a very nice piece of hardware. Are there things I would have liked to have seen? Sure. Look, I wish that there was expandable storage, a Super AMOLED, higher res, more battery life, because I think, again, we're looking at about 8 to 9 at best. I think if you really press it with screen brightness all the way, we're probably looking at 6 to 7. I'm at 26%. We've been 100% brightness the entire way here. But user accounts now up to 8 accounts. They've really addressed a lot of things that are going to be standard for the entire platform here in this tablet offering. So that's significant. And when it comes to build quality, I really do like what I've seen. The entire, going with that metal frame, it really is a nice balance. Even though I thought this was going to pick up a lot of fingerprints, it surprisingly does not. You can see I pick up my hand. I'm literally trying to create a mess, and it's really quite good. I've seen other comments regarding that it's a magnet, and yeah, I think with time it's going to get some smudges like anything, but I have to say it does fairly well. I see them starting to accumulate, but after all, I am trying to intentionally do it. But the metal frame really does give you that premium feel that so many Nexus devices before this were missing. So that's exactly what I think a lot of owners were hoping for. I'm not sure that the 4:3 aspect ratio, though, was what everyone was looking for, unfortunately. Me personally, I love the improved build quality. I think it's great that we have Lollipop, which seems to be the best version of the OS to date, but this 4:3 approach seems like it's more about sales and basically responding to feedback that Google has taken in, marketing strategies, because really I do agree that this is the tablet to kill every offering out there, as I mentioned earlier in the video, whether we're talking about either of Apple's offerings, Amazon's offerings. Yes, that they have higher pixel per inch counts, but when you look at the complete package, you're again getting a premium tablet with premium internals that's going to get direct updates from Google, HTC, a solid manufacturer. So really no corners cut that I can see here as of yet, and Lollipop looks great, at least at face value so far with my limited experience. Of course, on my next update, you'll be getting more in depth. I'll get into some gaming and really show off what this device can do. But out of the box, I'm impressed. It's a new look, a new feel, and it feels good. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.